сырники ел вчера? Так это сильно не знаю. Если Сеня не ел, значит это Арсения. Отдай ему его мороженое.
Это мое.
Есть там твое мороженое, Фень? Всем привет, друзья! На канале Денчик Лис, и мы с вами продолжаем проходить забавную, немного страшную игру Вампир. Желаю тебе приятного просмотра, и если ты до сих пор не подписан, то, пожалуйста, подпишись. Это ведь не трудно, и ты поможешь развитию канала. И не забудь поставить свой драгоценный лайк. Спасибо тебе. Какие же долгие здесь загрузки. Надеюсь, эту проблему в PS5 устранят, как обещаю, что будет быстрая загрузка. Ну, это просто трэш сидеть, столько ждать. Всего-то выход на улицу из здания. Сейчас мне обратно нужно будет зайти. Пембрукская больница, потому что у меня задание в этом здании. Мне нужно найти здесь 3 ингредиента каких-то в этом здании. В последнее время перестали все подписываться на канал. Первые 2 месяца люди подписывались. Сейчас что-то вообще все остановилось. Не знаю, в чем проблема. Так, получается, у нас 2 цели вверху и 1 внизу, подвал, то есть. Во. Подвал.
It's locked, all right.
Закрыт. Это у нас куда дверь? Выход. Во. Красться. Как здесь?
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Пилюли собрали. Первый ингредиент есть. Оу. Ты что, дичара, творишь? А почему он ничего не делает у меня?
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Отлично, теперь в подвал можно спуститься. Бутылка алкоголя. И у нас еще есть труп. Ой, откуда ты, дядя, взялся? Ты как восстал-то? Сейчас сдохнешь. Сейчас сдохнешь. Давай восстанавливай быстрее. Ты прикинь. Да как так-то, а? Это обидно. Сейчас опять заново нужно будет. Мощные? Получается, какого я уровня? Ну, я их слабее гораздо. Раз они мне пару очков делают и убивают. Я, по-моему, босса быстрее завалил. Потому что он был не по уровню. А, смотри-ка, задания-то выполнились. Это выход. Это выход. Здесь ничего нет. Так, а тут шиллинги вроде лежат. Что ты их не берешь? Шиллинги. Для чего они нужны, я пока не понял. Вроде мне не встречались эти. Так, стены смотрите, где тут. Попробуем его завалить все-таки.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves.
Патрон. Чтобы применить оружие дальнего боя, это оружие наносит обычный урон или урон оглушения.
Faster than influenza.
Так, как у нас тут применить оружие, это я забыл уже. Нахрен эту двуручную изменить на... А где у меня огнестрел? А, вот. Старый револьвер. Дробовик. Давай дробовик поставим. Почему не дает? Изменим на 72-65 на топор. Вот. А сюда поставим дробовик. Ага. А сюда что? Воу. Сколько у меня оружия. В сыворотке можно что-нибудь поставить? Ничего нету у нас. Здоровье, бла-бла-бла, бла-бла-бла, бла-бла-бла. Тут всего 4 навыка у нас. Пока сверхъестественного ничего нету. Есть что у нас на разбор? Это не то. Все понятно. Ой. О, фак, мэн. Последний патрон. Топориком. Я не могу привыкнуть. Портсигар. Дверь закрыта.
It's locked.
Эта дверь тоже закрыта. Вот здесь у нас челик, считай, встал тогда в прошлый раз. Еще, смотрите, этаж выше есть. Мурахи пошли по коже. Вот он. Да. Тертрат железа и химия. Так, эта дверь была закрыта? Или открыта? А, мы отсюда первый ингредиент, по-моему, взяли. И вот здесь еще этаж, получается, выше есть. Здесь наверняка тоже что-нибудь. Вот, как минимум, вижу, трупешник тут валяется. Образец разбавленной густой крови. Теперь идем в подвал. Найти гипохлорид натрия. Дверь открыли, потому что ключик мы нашли. Отнести еще бумажник. Опа. Так, у меня револьвер где-то был. Его мы поставим вместо дробыша. И у нас там есть, получается, 6 патриков.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Пососи крови, урод. Еще один. На, получил. Изолятор. Теперь надо их обобрать. У тебя есть что? У тебя ничего нет. У тебя есть что? Хинин. О, хинин. А, у меня гипохлорид натрия нужен. Патроны, картечь. Вот. Патроны это хорошо. 4 патрона, получается, у меня осталось. Да ты должен был. Шиллинги, шиллинги, шиллинги. Нету тут никого, кроме трупа.
It's locked.
Закрыто. Старый ампутационный нож. Интересно, он много снимает? Так, продолжим. Да что ты? Вот здесь письмо какое-то. Доступно новое расследование. Расследование, которое вам доверяют горожане, рассортированы по районам. Чтобы приступить к заданию, выберите его, нажав квадрат. После этого на карте отобразится область, которую нужно исследовать. Где? Отнести бумажник, прекратить отслеживание. Выяснить причину смерти, отслеживать.
Папа, купи.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally open to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Rид. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much. Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
The life running in your veins.
Evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Rид. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't...
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than you.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes. Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh,
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and...
You remained perfectly nice and...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Patients are not fools. They know we are overwhelmed by this horrifying...
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reid has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember.
He was also very confident about your future.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation?
This hospital is not exactly the best.
It's more than enough. In any case,
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital? Tell me more about...
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most...
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good...
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because...
What was the nature?
It was a twofold error.
Who was this?
I don't know. Some sick man from the...
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't...
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Where were you stationed, sir?
I really don't want to...
No offense. I was pushing too much.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Rid, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea...
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a...
If you're suggesting he's not taking...
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett...
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can...
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan.
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your...
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett...
I hope you're right. This is a huge...
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence.
Tell me,
if I had...
you can't...
Look around...
Perhaps you...
You mean you...
How are things here?
Not good.
An invisible enemy.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few...
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised.
What kind of...
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reid. If you want to know...
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together.
Maybe you're right. But we support each...
You do realize you could both get fired?
Come on, Dr. Reid. Do you know how many rules...
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reid.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm...
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed.
I'm sorry, I don't know what...
Yeah, exactly. We lack words.
Goodbye, Milton.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
What is this?
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
If you continue shouting, I'll have you restrained and gagged. Understood?
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. Oh,
better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings.
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating...
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these...
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've... The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. I cannot enter.
Medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation.
The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different...
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Goodbye, Milton.
Time has lost its effect on me.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps...
What can you tell me about...
Let me get...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
But the suffering continues.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea in... I am Thoreau Strickland.
Have you heard any talk of blackmail?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question...
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
What must I do? You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Что-то как-то быстро эта Дороти свалила на своем катере куда-то, непонятно. Была здесь и тут же исчезла. Этот чувак зашел в канализацию, я сейчас иду за ним.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. this? Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway. Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reid, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Don't be sorry. We'll meet again soon, and we will be serene and beautiful.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Rid of the Pembroke Hospital.
Dr. Reid. So it's you who saved my friend Oswald.
And you are...
Newton Blight.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher?
I love him.
What frightens you, sir?
If people find out. Oswald says I'm a
I won't say a word, Mr. Blight.
I fought for my country and I survived.
You and Oswald were buried alive.
Yeah. It was last...
How did you...
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel.
Oswald seemed far more...
It wasn't the first time it happened to me.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome...
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital.
Perhaps he needs to
Could you speak to him?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
No thanks, sir. Unless you're able to get rid of every rat in London.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
This is not a place. A leech! A leech! It's a leech! That leech is gone! Die, vermin!
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Stop it now, Albert! Stop it!
I won't end up another drunk arsehole living in the streets. Not me.
What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what?
I'm Dr. Reid. And
No. Look, I'm not a...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too.
Really?
Word is she ain't real. It's just a cover for some doc...
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and...
I'm sick, broke on my son.
What can you tell...
Nothing to say, really.
You mean you...
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job.
You don't have anywhere to go?
Not since the death...
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he...
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that...
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like...
I will see you later.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Afraid anymore. I died in this trench a long time ago.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now, goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. No one's there. It's locked, all right. cannot enter.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you
Ну что, друзья, на этом буду заканчивать свой стрим. Следующее продолжение будет, скорее всего, завтра. Я надеюсь на этом. Спасибо, что смотрел. Желаю тебе удачи. Не забудь поставить лайк и подписаться на канал, а также включить колокольчик, чтобы не пропустить новые видео от меня. Пока-пока.